Hello friends, here is my craft stash. It is beginning to to be a bit of a problem in my opinion, so grab a beverage, get cozy, and we're just gonna have a chatty video about what I intend to do about all this. Hello future me. I think that I forgot to mention that I want to kind of be on a soft no-buy. The idea behind a soft no-buy is that if I have come up short with the amount of fabric that I have for a project, then I am allowing myself to get more fabric for that particular project, as long as I am trying to do it in like a complementary colorway so that I'm still using for my stash. The same concept also applies for yarn. If you think that that's something that would work for you, if you think that that's going to allow me too much cheat room, feel free to list that down in the comments. I feel like both. It just depends on the person if that strategy would be effective for you. Because of stressors in my life this year, I have not gotten to nearly as many projects as I wanted to, and was trying to use this video as a way to hold me accountable, speak some ideas into the internet, actually like maybe get some feedback of what you think would work, what you think might not work. I want to use my stash. It's not just here to be pretty, it's here to be used. And I want to give myself an excuse to do it, because if I don't give myself an excuse to do it, then I'm always going to put me below everybody else's needs, and I have needs too that I need to meet. Okay, I wrote down some sewing plans that I want to start out with. This 1930s blouse, it's just a pattern for like a pretty simple collared blouse with a little bit of shoulder poofy, a little bit of flouncy here, but that pattern also calls for an elastic around the waist. I feel like I want to modify that a little bit by gathering in the waist part and putting a little band on it. My disdain for using elastic is completely illogical. This really pretty mint green, I was optioning to make a blouse or something like that with it. It is a 1 yard remnant from Joann's, but it's 57 inches. I'm not sure if I can make that fudge. This is 1 yard of like a really cool looking polyester. And I know that it's polyester, and that'll make it weird to breathe in and maybe sweaty. I like purple though. I feel like I could use another purple blouse, especially a collared one, because I don't think that I have a collared purple blouse yet. Here is 2 yards of a really silky rayon that's I was also optioning, so maybe a long sleeve version because I have 2 yards, but also it's rayon, so it's difficult. And this kind of burnt orangey brown linen. I don't think that I have a blouse in this color yet. I think I have a sweater in that color, but not a blouse in that color. This beautiful fabric I thrifted from Goodwill. It's sheer see-through kind of deal. I think that I wanted to make a kind of 40s style dress, wear a slip under it with that for a while. Probably longer than a year, maybe 2 or 3. I want to make it, so I want to enjoy the process of making it. And I want to give myself permission to enjoy the process of making it. Putting this fabric back is going to be a hard part. My plans for this project have changed. I have kind of like a zodiac print polyester, and I thought that the child was going to lose her ever-loving mind if I made her a shirt with this when she came back from camp for her birthday. But then she also kept complaining about gaining weight, so I was afraid that if I made a shirt for her in the size that she was when she left for camp, then she would not be that size when she comes back. And I didn't want to, you know how teenagers are, if you gain weight then it's the end of the world, so I didn't want to make her feel bad that I'm giving her something that's too small just because I was not there to measure it, and it being a surprise and everything like that. So I'm gonna have to figure out a sneaky way to get her measurements to get a good pattern for her, maybe for Christmas. I'm not sure though. I want to make her things, and I want to make her feel loved and supported. It's also going through teenager brain, and that's difficult sometimes. Another 1 yard project. I have a pair of shorts that I made for my like little strawberry shorts. I really like them. I know that I can use 1 yard for them, and I have this very, very soft bee fabric. It's 100% cotton. And I kind of want to make sleepy shorts out of that pattern, just not taken any of the darts and just have that elastic waistband that I really hate dealing with, or I could do a drawstring waistband. I'm not going to enjoy the drawstring waistband as much though. I think that I would enjoy the elastic waistband with sleep shorts better, but they're cute little bees. Look at the little bees. I did finally cave in Joann's and get the mushroom fabric, the coveted mushroom fabric that I've been eyeing for like months now. All they had at Joann's when I got it was like 1.25 yards. So I got some FOMO, and hopefully I can figure out something to do with that. I do have like a couple pieces of like brown that I could potentially make something with, like a piecemeal thing. But speaking of piece projects, I want to show you my mock-up for the walkaway dress. I think that I do still like it enough that I want to rip off the edge binding. I would probably need to make the shoulders a lot thinner. And I also decided that these buttons that were supposed to go with the pink on these flowers, they ultimately do not go with the pink on the flowers. And I think I want to replace them with these like cool gray buttons that don't actually match any particular color, but I think that it just goes overall so much better. And then I can use my mock-up for the walkaway dress as a dress as well. Last Christmas I made myself a Christmas skirt. The Christmas before I made myself a Christmas dress. I like doing a Christmas project, and I was considering when I hauled this fabric. Oh, do not fall, do not fall. When I got that fabric, I wanted to make a Christmas project with that, probably a Christmas dress. I'm not sure what I want to do with that though right now, because since I just finished the walkaway dress, I am only thinking of the walkaway dress. That is the only pattern that exists in my brain. So I need to dig through my stash and find something that's maybe like 3/4 sleeves or something like that. Or alternatively, I kind of have it in my mind to do Quiltmas. So my goal, if I do Quiltmas, I do not make complicated quilts. I want to make pretty simple quilts that a beginner can probably do themselves, but that are still interesting. I have some 18 by 21 inch pairs of Christmas fabric that I got from Michael's last year on clearance, and I was thinking that maybe I can pair them with some other reds and greens and whatnot that I have in my stash, and back it with this pale pink fabric right here. That's a quilted fabric, so that I don't actually have to sandwich any quilt batting in. I have had it in my brain that I want to do a rainbow quilt for forever, and maybe if I do Quiltmas, this will be my excuse to actually make a rainbow quilt, because I have a stack of rainbow fabric, quilting fabric right there in a rainbow. If I make just like a mini quilt with like maybe this buffalo check or this gray buffalo check or something like that as the back, it won't be such an overwhelming project like a king-size rainbow quilt. I could just do a little mini guy. Another quilt that I've wanted to make forever and I've been kind of saving up scrap fabric for is a black and white quilt. For some weird reason, I just think that this butterfly fabric would be a great backing for a black and white quilt. And maybe it's because like these butterflies right there, there's some like gray outline butterflies. This is just a 100% cotton, like a flannel. So maybe backing a black and white quilt with this butterfly fabric would look really good. But also thinking, if I do Quiltmas, there are 4 Fridays in December before Christmas, so I would need to do 4 quilts, unless I do 4 quilts in a different Christmas project. But with those 3 quilts, I feel like I can make them different but interesting, but easy enough for a beginner to recreate. But I don't know what I would do for a 4th quilt, and I don't want to make a big giant one as ta-da. I want to be consistent with little ones that like I can wear to the office, I can put a picnic on, something like that. But comment down below what you would do if you were trying to do a 4th mini quilt, because I know that I've wanted to do the black and white for years. I've wanted to do the rainbow for years, and I've wanted to do that festive Christmas mini quilt for what's coming up on a year now. What would I do for a fourth quilt? Comment down below, what should I do for a fourth quilt if that's the route I want to go. Well, maybe if I show you some of the fabrics that I have to work with. I have this Christmas flannel, that Christmas flannel, this Christmas flannel, cat flannel. Ooh, I also have this quilt top that I got from Goodwill that I think that I just need to back. Should that be my finale? Just back, but that would be interesting if I would just back a giant quilt. This is a white like sweatshirt material with gold flecks on it, green plaid, buffalo check, gray plaid, and this that I was wanting to back the Christmas fabric with. Comment down below what you would put atop this cat fabric though, maybe. Gray cats that have little pink blushies on them. So I think that's about it for the sew and craft projects that I am thinking are somewhat goals to do in the next 2 months. Rapid fire things that I could potentially pull in and out of. This is slightly less than a yard of a little bit stretchy ghost fabric, and I was thinking maybe essentially like a bra and panty set as a pull set. Not sure if you can see, but their ghosts are blushing. Floral polyester was potentially going to make shorts with that, but I wanted to make shorts with that in the summer. Ooh, lemon fabric. I actually wanted to see if I could fudge that into a 30s blouse as well. This is a little over half of a yard, and I was planning on making a tank top with it. So as far as yarn goes though, I'm getting my Ravelry up for this. This project I made last month. This hat I also made this month, but need to figure out what I'm going to do with it. I was trying to use up a skein, and to be fair, like it fits, but it fits not, I wanted to make it floppier, and it has a little bit of a hole right here. Might just put a palm on it and donate it to the foster care closet, saying it's a kid's size hat. Just I'm not too happy with this. So this was the first hat that I made. I already made a second hat. The second hat was too loose on me. And it might just be that the fact that I used 2 skeins made it heavy and it was floppy. It was floppy, so potentially dragging down a little bit, and that's why it was falling off my head. Gave it to somebody with dreads though, so Rachel has it. She has dreads and it fits over her head pretty well. I am interested in making socks, but I have this little bit of sock yarn and these yarns that are this one I believe is 100% wool. This one I don't know. It's thrifted and it burns like wool, but I don't know if it's like has a nylon mix in it. I don't know. So I was thinking that I might want to make socks. These two are itchy though, and I don't have enough of this to make a sock on its own. I crocheted for a year, maybe 2, and I have been knitting for about 2 months now. So I don't have a particular need in my wardrobe for crochet stuff right now because I've been crocheting for 2 years, and I was thinking trying to learn how to use the knitting and the fabric drapes differently if you knit. Crochet can be very stiff, so it's very good for boxy things. Kid is really into like the boxy fit, kind of like just edgy, and crochet kind of works with that. So I do plan on making kiddo another sweater for Christmas. I made one last year, and this year I'm thinking about like doing like a black and white crochet striped sweater that's kind of like boxy. And that will allow me to get rid of some of the red yarn up there. If it's segmented, like broken up by black, then I think that it will hide the subtle color variation within the different thrifted reds. Mostly I am thinking about knits though. I got some vintage needles in the mail today. This is a circular needle kit from Sears, and I think it's like the 70s because like the packaging looks very 70s to me. Maybe 60s, but so that enables me to start casting on like sweaters and stuff. By Escape Tricot. I'm looking at the classic sweater. It is a free Ravelry pattern, so that's good for beginners. A little over 2,000 yards of a baby weight yarn, a DK yarn. So I've got this. This is about 460 yards. I got this Lion Brand Baby Soft, and what's the color? Dandelion or something? Lemonade. Oh, that's a pretty name. It is a baby yarn, so I think that this is DK weight, and this ball is about $4.50. I have at least 4 balls of this. I think I have 6 balls of this, so that would be a good option. I have just like a couple balls of this. I have this, which is slightly different than this, and I think I have like a ton of these balls. So if I want to just get started and learn on an acrylic and use up some of my baby weight yarn, then that is definitely an option. I also have this big ball. So this is also a 3. It's a sport weight, so I don't think that that's quite DK. 1256 yards. So if I do, like, this will get me like, I don't know, maybe halfway there with the sweater. I was just thinking if I start with that one, that is just like the classic, it's a top-down raglan, it's called the classic sweater, then that will help me kind of like just get the feel of knitting a top-down sweater. Another one that I'm super excited to do is this autumn sweater by Nazilia Zamdekanova. Please do not butcher my I'm sorry for butchering the pronunciation. This is their autumn sweater, and it is also a free Ravelry download, but this is a yarn weight of bulky. So I don't have bulky yarn, I have plenty of worsted weight yarn though. If you look at like the projects of it, it's a pretty boxy sweater, and I don't really do boxy that well. So theoretically, if I do the worsted weight instead of the bulky weight, then it'll just like take it in a little bit. So I feel like that those colors go really well together. So I was thinking start the ribbon with this. When I get to the color work part, going to this, because they're very similar colors, I feel like it'll coordinate relatively well, and you can kind of fudge that with color work, in my opinion. This being like color C, and maybe this being like the main body color, but when it says to do just the main body color stuff, getting as far as I can with one of these and seeing how much of this I can just use on the sleeves, and having like a short cropped sweater with like the shorter sleeves. Hopefully maybe I can like fudge it like that once I get the hang of doing top down, because I like raglan sweaters. I really like crocheting them. I'm thinking that I want to be able to do the cast on for the collar. I keep seeing pictures of people with like the raglan that has the little 2 dots on each side of the seam. I just think that's really pretty, and I would love to recreate that little lace detailing. I don't know how, but Nimble Needles has made me erroneously confident that I could be able to figure it out. Ooh, I also bought a Centro knitting machine, so that will help me make as many hats as I have relatives. I'm very attracted to the color blue, but I don't wear the color blue. I don't know why. I know that it looks fine on me. I just don't like wearing blue. But I know that a lot of people really like blue, and if I started giving out blue hats as Christmas gifts, nobody's gonna bat an eye. The Centro knitting machine will help with that. It just has not arrived yet. But theoretically, with the Centro, I came up with this the other day. Can I make a sweater with the Centro? I know that a lot of like 40s patterns will have you do the front and then you do the back, and you stitch them up at the side sweaters, like the panel knitting sweaters, instead of knitting in the round. But since I am so attracted to color work, if I start some sweater panels, then cast off the machine and then start doing some color work, then that will give me like a head start to do the thing that I really like, and kind of getting to skip over a little bit of a monotonous thing that I'm not super passionate about, and maintain that like enthusiasm for a project. Once again, I have made 2 hats already. One of these out already that I'm probably gonna cast on another hat with. I have no idea what to make with this. I don't. Like a fluffy beret. I have this. I wanted to make a fluffy beret with it. Like I don't know a knitting pattern for a beret. I have this amount and this one, plus that. Make a beret in this color. It's like a tweedy cream color. I don't know how to knit one though. Somebody please help me. Like link a pattern down below. Woo! I have this guy I have 2 of these guys. This is also a 100% wool that is floofy and angelic, but I don't know what to do with it. I am trucking away at this bulky yarn in the form of hats and getting it down. It's just, I just have not been historically trucking away at the yarn at a rate that evens out the gain of the stash. So I think that expresses all of my knitting plans for the next season, fallish winter knitting plans. I do have a couple things on my Ravelry that are favorited, like a lace kind of sweater and like a tank top, because I'm also kind of like interested in knitting a tank top when it gets warmer outside. It just needs to be consistently warmer outside. And if you want to follow me on Ravelry, it is just eat and yell. My Ravelry is just eat and yell. But I don't know why you would want to do that, because hats and scarves right now and shawls. So if you like this video and have any ideas for your winter projects to stash bust as well, feel free to list that with any questions, comments, or concerns down below. New videos should be out on Fridays, not every Friday though. So feel free to like this video, subscribe, and hit that little bell icon so you know when I actually do post. Like always, stay happy, stay healthy, and we'll see you next time. Bye!